Hi everyone. Thanks for joining our webinar on Enhance Your Document Management Strategy within Office 365 Intranet. I'm Surendra Judani, the Director of Product Development at BizPortal Solutions, and I'm joined by Anil Gursani, our Solutions Lead. Many of you are familiar with what an Office 365 Intranet is and its capabilities as a digital workplace solution. We'll get into what an Office 365 Intranet for those of you who are not familiar, but in short, an Office 365 Intranet is a modern digital workplace for your company-wide document and content management, forms management, project management, and overall communication and collaboration. It houses and combines everything you're working on in one streamlined, organized place using the power of Office 365 and SharePoint. And for today's webinar, we'll be focusing on an Office 365 Intranet as a document and content management solution and how it simplifies and modernizes the way businesses and teams create, collaborate, protect, and harvest their documents, content, and ultimately their knowledge. So that is what today's webinar will be about. Let's move into the agenda. First, we are going to be talking about a quick introduction to our presenters and to our company. Second, we'll talk briefly about document and enterprise content management because it is evolving as businesses, small and large, are shifting to a more agile, collaboration-centric, and cloud-based way of doing things. Third, we'll talk about what an Office 365 Intranet is, its document management features and capabilities, and how it simplifies and modernizes the way businesses and teams work. Then Anil will demo our BizPortal 365 product to show you what an Office 365 Intranet can do for your document and content management. BizPortal 365 is a comprehensive and turnkey intranet that instantly connects to your environment, and it has all of the features that we will be discussing. Just as a note, there are differences between other Office 365 Intranet products out there, and we'll talk a little bit about it later on. Finally, we'll end with some Q&A, so you can ask any question on what we cover. We'll try to leave a few minutes for Q&A at the end, but please ask questions at any time during the presentation. Please note that your microphone is on mute, so use the chat inside the GoToWebinar toolbar to ask your questions. Again, I'm Surendra Dudani, the Director of Business and Products Development at BizPortal Solutions. I have many years of experience with software business in product and business development, including collaboration and line of business products. I'm joined by Anil Gursani, who is our Solutions Lead. He leads our customer implementations. He has over 12 years of experience building and implementing Intranet and digital workplace solutions. He will be providing the demo later in the webinar. As a company, BizPortal Solutions, we are a full-service Office 365 and SharePoint shop based in Orange County, Southern California, with offices in Boston and India. We have a product development team that focuses on our BizPortal 365 product and customizations, and we also provide implementation, planning, migration, and other Office 365, SharePoint, and Dynamics services. We have over 15 years of experience developing intranet and digital workplace solutions on SharePoint and Office 365. So we are experts on these two platforms as well as the Microsoft platform as a whole. Our customers and businesses using or looking to move to Office 365. They vary across industry and size from small to large businesses. Finally, we have been Microsoft Gold partners for over 15 years as well. So what is content management? First, we are using document and content somewhat interchangeably, but really it's all about content because documents are just one piece of that puzzle. With digitization, businesses create, use, and manage different forms of content, whether it's documents, videos, blogs, you name it. So really, we are talking about content management. Then traditional content management has evolved from a more static and linear life cycle, beginning at content creation and ending at content retention and disposal. Because the pace of business has become faster, the way content is created, shared, retained, and reused has changed. Now, content management is more people centric, collaboration centric, cloud based, and cyclical. So all this means is that there are simpler yet powerful and more cost effective ways of managing your content, whether you are a small business or a large enterprise. The content management lifecycle is broken down in four key areas. First, create, where you create, collect, and share the documents you need to get work done. Coordinate, where you structure, organize, and coordinate and discuss content. Protect, where you secure content and management governance and compliance with lifecycle and rights management. And then harvest, where you intelligently search, discover, analyze, and reuse the content. So that is the life cycle. So with that, now what is an Office 365 intranet and how does it help businesses create, coordinate, protect, and harvest content? So let's look at the diagram. You can see that Office 365 intranet is at the core and surrounded by it is various layers of tools which Office 365 provides. So it is built off the Office 365 and SharePoint framework and extends it into an intranet and digital workplace solution. So it delivers first increased and more flexible usability so that you can organize and access things more quickly, have dashboard views, drag and drop features, the ability to move, easily publish content, and much more. Two, an Office 365 intranet delivers added functionality. So for example, the document management and collaboration features that come out of the box with 365 and SharePoint are enhanced. But with BizPortal 365, we have extended the functionality even further beyond the basic intranet features with modules and features for project management, forms management, and HR and employees management, and more. So with BizPortal 365, Office 365 environment turns into a comprehensive workplace solution that helps manage other critical functions of your business, like collating all the documents coming from different tools and gathering into one place and creating different types of automation on those processes. Three, it has built-in integration with Office 365 tools to bring in key functionality into one solution and in one unified experience, rather than using them as separate standalone tools. These integrations are ready to go for you to use. We'll talk more about a few of these key tools and integrations. And then with BizPortal 365, we have enabled the ability to integrate with other business applications, your CRM and ERP, for example, to bring in and distribute documents, data, and reports, and bring in workflows from these external systems. Then, as you can see, it is built off of Office 365 and SharePoint framework. It directly and instantly connects to the entire environment. So imagine it as another tool in your Office 365 tool set. So in summary, an Office 365 intranet is a comprehensive workplace solution that brings your business and Office 365 together in one place in one unified experience. But for today's webinar, we are focused on the content management capability. So that is what we will dive deeper into the next few slides. There are a lot of features across the content lifecycle, so I'll go through them quickly, and much of this will be brought to life in Anil's demo later. But I'll focus on some of the key features and points. And if there is any part where you want more information, please ask. So let's start off with the first stage of the life cycle, which is content creation. The main features of an Office 365 Intranet here are real-time co-authoring, where you can collaborate on documents with multiple people simultaneously. You can house, create, edit, and easily publish and share just about any content type, from documents, company news, custom lists, rich media, including audio and video, medical DICOM files, etc. This is a subtle but important point. It is easy to do for any user or admin and doesn't require the help of IT. If multiple people are working on a single document, there is the check-in and check-out feature, and automatic versioning control to avoid multiple copies, rather just have one updated source of truth. As part of collaboration, you can share files and folders with people within your group, organization, or even external users. You can easily share and upload multiple files in different ways, including drag and drop. Then finally, you can dynamically capture information that lives in an email, whiteboard, or document and upload, edit, and share it seamlessly. The next stage is coordinate. Coordinating activities and common actions between people to make sure information is properly coordinated. First and foremost, with an Office 365 Intranet, you have the ability to organize your content, libraries, and lists in an easy and formalized way. You can create richer experiences around your documents and content with the ability to add custom properties to document libraries and lists, change views, and pin things to allow people to zero in on the right content that they need. There's built-in integrations with tools like Flow to tie in orchestration around documents. You can set actions based on logic to automate common actions, like collecting attachments from email or distributing documents for team or manager review. Then have alerts and notifications around these workflows so you can get notices when a document has reached the next step in the workflow, or if it is pending action, like if a document is pending review or approval. You can also have group conversations around documents and information and share documents within these conversations with pre-built integrations with Yammer and Teams, all within the Office 365 Intranet to streamline and organize your documents and collaboration in one place. You also have Power Apps to create custom mobile experiences based on how you want to view, customize, and interact with documents and information. In terms of protecting, securing, and governing your information throughout the life cycle, an Office 365 Intranet leverages Microsoft's commitment and long tradition of supporting these key areas. So you have the inbuilt Microsoft platform as a security as a whole. Then, of course, you have a robust user rights management, which is a much more sophisticated way of protecting documents even when they are downloaded. Then, very key and important, you can centrally define, set, and automate your data loss, retention, archival, disposal, and lifecycle management policies. You can easily define and set how long you want to keep and retain your documents and what you want to do with them after a certain amount of days, etc. So, for example, you can say, I want to keep all contracts for 5 years and specify that you want to delete this content or archive it. And importantly, this is done in a no-code way. All of this is templatized, where all you really have to do is select options from a drop-down. And you can apply defined policies to content by simply tagging the documents with what are called retention tags. You can centrally define these policies in one place based on content type, files, and folders. So a very easy and automated way to manage your documents and information throughout its life cycle and address your compliance and audit needs. Then finally, the harvest stage in the life cycle. Businesses don't stop interacting with their documents and information once they are saved and stored. So businesses need to easily, quickly find, discover, and analyze their content and information, especially as they build and store content over time. With an Office 365 intranet, you have powerful enterprise search that can search across all content, documents, events, lists, and metadata that exists within the intranet. It integrates with powerful and intelligent discovery tools like Dell that understand what documents and people you interact with and brings this content to your fingertips. Also, it integrates with tools like Power BI to help you visualize and understand data in a meaningful and insightful way. So this was a very brief overview of the document and content management capabilities and Office 365 Intranet has across the whole life cycle. Now we'll talk about how an Office 365 Intranet stacks up against its key criteria. Cost effectiveness. The solution provides a quick and meaningful return on investment. It's cloud-based, so the licensing costs are lower. And with BizPortal 365, we have a straightforward pricing model. It's not just a document management solution, so you don't necessarily need a separate solution for your document management, project management, and communication and collaboration. No IT resources needed from setup to maintenance. It is taken care by us. Then you leverage existing Office 365 tools investment and just get more out of it. Ease of use. Intuitive use is a must for adoption. It provides intuitive UI with concise features. Flexibility. It is integrated with Office 365 tools and existing business systems that we are already using. It's customizable and configurable. It's scalable as you can easily add and organize content and themes as you grow. Robust search. We already talked about the powerful enterprise search capabilities and the content discovery and curation with Dell. Mobility. Cloud-based ability to access documents and information anytime, anywhere, on any device. Collaboration. The ability for multiple users to view and add their contributions to a single document in real time. We talked about co-authoring and social collaboration features. Security. The solution should restrict who can see specific documents and secure your documents through the life cycle. It provides multi-level role-based security and lifecycle management, audit control, data encryption. So as a document and content management solution, an Office 365 intranet meets these criteria. And of course, as you know, there are many document and content management options out there like Box and DocuWare. Microsoft is evaluated as a leader in content management for businesses large and small by the prominent Gartner and Forrester. And this says Microsoft, but really it is talking about Microsoft Office 365, SharePoint, and OneDrive as it relates to content management. And an Office 365 intranet brings all of these together with pre-built modules and tool integrations and extended usability and functionality to bring the full power of Office 365 together in one cohesive workplace solution. So hopefully you now have a good overview of what an Office 365 intranet is and what its document and management capabilities are. And with that, I'll pass it over to Anil for the demo of our BizPortal 365 product.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anil Gursani. I'm a solutions lead here at BizPortal Solutions. And thanks a lot, Surendra, for the wonderful presentation. A lot of material to be covered. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. Hopefully you all can see my screen. If not, just send us a chat message. Okay, and any questions that you have, you can put that in. So I've been working with BizPortal Solutions for a long time, really focusing on Office 365 intranet. And during the course of the time, really worked with SharePoint on-premise, really focusing on customer deployments, and a lot of documents. In fact, everyone would store their documents on-premise, use SharePoint, similar to using network folders, but then put it in SharePoint, really use the versioning and other things. And then finally now, really with Office 365, it has changed the paradigm of content and document storage. Okay, so with that, let me go ahead and show you briefly our application. So what you see in front of you is our home screen. I'll go through really the core features very quickly, and then we'll get into pure document management features. So what our Business Intranet, BizPortals 365 really focuses on is employee distribution, right, and consumption. So content really is not only in documents, but in all other information. So what you see in front of you is right in the middle is a bulletin board. So great way to publish content, share content. So whether it be it IT, HR, any administrative alerts, notices to be put in, it's very simple to do that. Moving down, you have some news and announcements. You can put that in. And again, very easy to put that information in. So from the usability point, we made it very simple. You can just go ahead quickly, go ahead and create a new announcement here, put an image here, also decide which location. If you have multi-locations, you can decide which location you want to publish the announcement, and then decide if you want to send a notification, right, to people. So very easy to do that. And once it is published, very easy for consumers of this information to get that. Just click on it. So I'm just going to click on, let's see, going back here. And users can easily read through this announcement, right? So make it very simple. Then we have other information, content in terms of calendars. So you can bring in your personal Office 365 calendar, or you can bring in other employee events that you would have published, any holiday calendars, if people are going to be out of the office, time off, all of that can be seen in one view. So again, content is readily available for consumers. Then what we have here is on the left side, a lookup directory, that is employee directory. View of that, you can search for employees. Connected to Office 365, you can send them a message using Skype, email them, call them using Skype communications. And as Microsoft Office 365 progresses with other tools, then we'll just make sure that we integrate with all of those. But easy to get hold of people. Birthdays, work anniversaries can be published. By the way, all of this can be customized. So to your view, so you don't need to keep it the way you're seeing it. You can drag and drop, change the size of these sections, and redesign your page. Okay. Then also we have a couple of other things here. An employee directory, a full-blown employee directory. You can keep that. On the left side, you see some refinement. So you can search by department, job title. You can look at all of your employees right there. What we also have is a knowledge base. Now, this is a product knowledge base. You can customize this. You can make your own knowledge base, but this was just an example that we let you publish a knowledge base, which is a central source of information for employees. Maybe you're a services company. You want to put in some knowledge base articles really for all your users regarding your product and other things. You can design that right here. Okay. And we have an employee center. Employee center houses all information. Basically, HR can publish information, again, a lot of content for employees. And again, very quickly, your news announcements, you can stream videos. Nowadays, videos is a big part of content. So you can house it in Office 365 Stream and then publish it here. You can also bring in external videos and publish it here for your employees. You can have a lot of information published for new employees, new hires. When they come in, just get them a login, get them to the intranet. They can go ahead and read through information for existing employees, some travel-related insurance information. So you can really design this section, build your own lists, and publish content. Okay. And then moving down, you have some photo libraries, again, images for events in your organization and documents. And I'll quickly come to documents in a minute. So this is all about information publishing here, right? And then we have the functionality on our site, departments or teams, because you can go ahead and rename this section to what we want. But basically, set up your department. So each department gets a site, and then you can house a lot of content there. So for example, one of the departments we'll go into is a marketing department. So here, again, it's a site for the marketing department, where again, you can publish some announcements just for the team. You can have videos, quick links, where again, external and internal links. And then you can go ahead and manage really your entire work of your department using this site, right? So you can have tasks, issues, and other things right here. And I'm just navigating down, and so it's a consistent view out of the box. So in terms of your users getting used to this, it's not difficult at all. They know how to navigate through a site. Documents is right at the bottom. You can get hold of the documents in a consistent fashion. Okay, and then we have another feature. So within a department, you can execute projects. So I'll just go there. Basically, these are marketing related projects. You can have a project portfolio page. You can see all the projects here. And then very quickly, if you go to a particular project site, you can go ahead and see this is a project here. So you have, again, consistent announcements right at the top, a little summary view of it. On the right side, you have some discussions. You can, instead of sending emails back and forth, you can basically interact using this discussion section. And obviously, this is only limited to the team members of a project site, right? So again, you can manage your tasks, risks, and issues of a project. You could have milestone calendars. Everything that you see here, this comes out of the box, but you can enhance this section. You can add your own documents, forms, contact list. You can just build this section as you need to right from the front end. So no coding required. Very easy to go ahead and set up your intranet. And then the last section is, again, the documents. Okay, so we can publish information. So create information, publish it, consume it easily. We can go ahead and set up these team sites, collaborate with the content within that team site. Really, security is a key feature. So when you set up the team members, you can give them specific rights. Some team members could only publish information, others can consume. So you can set all of that up. And then what we have is, as users or employees, they start using this intranet, there's going to be a lot of information here. So how do you really make sense of all of that? See it in a way that you don't get confused. We provide what is called My Site. My Site is really a dashboard view for all users. So if they have tasks assigned to them, great way of seeing all their tasks here and working on all of them. So it rolls up all your tasks, all the projects that you're working on, the documents. It gives all of that in one view for a specific user. Okay, so with that, with a brief overview, in fact, the last thing, let me cover that also, is about forms. So we do forms automation. So a lot of content is in the shape of forms. And in terms of forms, we have some employee-related forms, be it time off requests, reimbursements, IT help desk, purchase requests, and so on. So, and we understand that every company has their own requirements. So we go ahead and help you design your custom forms, bring it into the intranet, so employees can use this, right? And then we have approval workflow built behind it. So once you submit forms, it goes to your managers. Now, how do they get all these? Traditionally they would get emails, but what we do is we have built a form center here and a little inbox here, so you can see your forms. You can see the forms for approval here, so managers don't need to go around and search for all these emails. They can just come here and quickly get to their forms and review those and approve those. Okay. Now let's move to the main areas. Again, if you have any questions, please put that in the chat window, and we can cover those as time permits. Okay. In terms of document management, specifically, I'm going to go back to the Employee Center first. Okay. Now you have a document library here, And by the way, for one site, like an employee center, if you see on the right side, you can have multiple document libraries. So by location, if you want to segregate your document libraries, you can do that, or by some other category. You can set up different document libraries. Okay, so this is just one of those. You can house documents here. You can see your PDF documents, image files, other things. The great thing about our product is very easily you can categorize documents and also subcategorize them. So you can set all these up so that your documents are really, rather than having just files and folders, you can just put all your documents in one library. You can categorize it, and then very easy to build views for your employees. So let's say we have built a view for policy documents. If you click on policy documents, it will quickly just show all policy related documents right here. So very easy for users to get to these, right? Let me go back to all documents right here. Okay. Also, when you set up a document library, there are really rich features that we have enabled, and we have really taken the SharePoint framework and extended it so that you can do a lot of things. So with this document library, there are a couple of features right at the top level. One is if you go to the definition of the library, and I'll just go to one of those pages, should be one of these, right? So this is the marketing department, a document library, which is called marketing documents right here. We can do quite a few things with this, okay? So one is, obviously, you can name the document library as you wish. You can enable categories that you want. So all documents that are going to be housed in this document library, you'll be able to define a category as it is enabled here. So you can enable or disable these categories. You can also set some default categories for the document library. So as you drop a document, by default, it would be categorized. Maybe select a, let's say information and subcategory. Let's say everything that you're dropping in is a manual. So you can set that as a default, right? There is a feature of document set, and we won't get into it, but basically it's set of documents, and it all depends on how you want to process that document set, send it for review, approval. So we'll cover that. If you have a need for this, you can contact us later, and we can get into details. Permissions, you can set up permissions across your document library. As you can see, there are a handful of groups and users, individual users, and for groups that you can set up different permissions, right? So it is obviously having your read-write permissions, full control, the ability to delete, that comes with full control. So you can set all of that right here. And what you can also do is, there are some out-of-the-box fields for metadata. For example, keywords, tagging. Now you want to set up some custom properties for each document library. You can set that up here. And then as you drop documents, you can choose the properties for those, right? And the most important one I'll talk about is an approval workflow. So there are two levels of workflow. One is a sequential workflow if you want to set it up. What that means is if you drop a document into a library, you want it to immediately go to a person for review, and then the next person for approval. You can set up a serial workflow. If you wanted to send it to two people at a time for review, and then subsequently for approval, you can set up a parallel workflow. So we give you all of this at the front end. Very easy to set up a workflow. And as you can see, this is serial, and the approver name is listed here. As soon as you initiate a workflow on a document, there's a task created. Okay, so what this does is you can define the title for the task in the system. Really, the period for approval is listed by default as 30. You can say 5 days. It becomes an overdue task after that, and that's how you can manage the whole cycle. And you can list what the subject of the email would be and the message, so you can define that at a document library level. And then you have certain options. So one of the options is a manual workflow to be initiated, and I'll show you that. But what you can also do is automatically a workflow should start on a document library. So as soon as you drop a document, it will just immediately just start the workflow, send it for review to a person. Okay, so great options here for approval workflows, not available in any other product. So what we have done is really made this easy for you guys to set this up. Okay, so this is at a document library level. All right, let me close this. So going back to the view of the marketing department library down here. So as soon as you drop documents here into this marketing department, not only can you interact with them from this view, but this is tightly integrated with OneDrive, and I'll show you that view. So if, I'm assuming you'll have Office 365, each employee/user has Office 365, so they can go to their OneDrive account. What they see is on the top left, they can see all their files, the ones that they are working with, the ones that are shared with them, and so on. But what it also enables is now it starts showing you all the document libraries of BizPortals 365, the ones that you have access to. So we were looking at marketing, we were looking at Employee Center. So for example, in Employee Center, we saw some documents, policies, benefits. So all of that is readily available in your OneDrive view. Okay. Now, if you're working on a file here, and let's say you wanted to drop it into your intranet folder, you don't have to go there and drag and drop the file. What you can do is really use a feature right here. You can just move this document very quickly. On the right side, you see the intranet folders. You can drop it into any library that you have access to. So very easy to work within the OneDrive interface also. Okay. Outside of that, what we have is other options here. So you can modify, that is, edit the keywords. You can edit the properties of a document. You can obviously delete, rename based on your access privileges. You can also review the permission on a particular document. You can share it with external people. Great functionality. So it's not only with your internal employees. You can share it. Again, it's based on whether you have access rights to do that, right? But you could share it with external users. You can mark it as your favorite document, and that shows up in other views on the home page and so on. If you're reading through a document, there are a lot of documents in a library. If you want to read through a document over a couple of days, you can pin it to the top of the library. It shows up right here. And then once you're done reading this, you can just unpin it from the view. Okay. All right. And other options here, you can see all the recent activities of a document. You can version documents, so you can check out, check in. Again, those are traditional SharePoint functionality. You can go ahead and do that. But let's say you want to see the recent views. Well, there's nothing here. Let me open up another one and see if we have some activities. Anyways, tough luck. So but you can view all those. Then you can initiate a workflow. If you remember, I showed you all in terms of starting a manual workflow. So you have defined the workflow, be it serial or parallel on a document library. You can go ahead and initiate the workflow. It's as simple as that. So it takes the definition of that workflow and initiates it. What happens is, with this, a task, as I said, gets created. So let's go back to the home page just for a minute and write on the task. So let's say the next person who was going to review the task, you could see there's an approval task set up here, right? So it says marketing for approval. This is the title we had given it, and that shows up here. Now you have that in your view. And you have the due date. If it was set to 30 days or less, you can go ahead and execute this task, approve the document. Okay, so easy to do that. So going back to the library view. So outside of approvals, then there are some other options. You can obviously move, copy, delete, and copy the document link, share it with people. You can also go ahead and e-sign this document. So there is an integration with DocuSign that we have enabled. Obviously, you have to have your own DocuSign account, and you can go ahead and e-sign these documents, right? And if you have any other ones, like you're using Adobe signatures or other things, we can definitely integrate with those. So this is in terms of document management. You can really house all your documents here. We help you with the migration. So in case you're using other systems, we can definitely bring in documents, work with you on a strategy of migrating those. keeping the metadata. We work with a lot of third-party vendors also, so we can take those tools, help you with migration, keep your metadata intact, whether it's coming from SharePoint on-premise or other systems, and we can definitely do that. So as you have seen here, content, if you all are today having content in emails, network folders, maybe you have Dropbox, OneDrive, you're using some other tools, let's say project management tools, task management like Asana and others. You have a lot of content and documents all over the place. If you have an Office 365 subscription, it's great to consolidate all those applications, bring it in here, put all your documents, whether it be in a department library like marketing or even IT for that matter. So this is IT side. And again, you can see at the bottom, you have these IT documents. So you can house these in team sites. And if you're running projects, I showed you all an example of a project site that would have its own set of documents. So a project site also, right at the bottom, you would have the documents and you'd be able to house all of that right here. Okay. So very important that if you have a subscription with Office 365, use the strength of Office 365 tools. We help you integrate this with other tools if needed. But out of the box, we already integrate with Outlook, with OneDrive, with Teams, and also we bring in your planner information. So all of that can be housed in one side. The last thing I want to cover today is the search. Okay, so two levels of search. One is at a team site level. So here you can search really at the document library, as you saw below. You have a search functionality. And let's say if I'm going to search for the word marketing, okay, because it's all about marketing documents, I could search it in this entire library or a specific folder, because you could create files and folders in a library. It's always advisable that you just drop documents at a flat, so it's a flat level of documents, not necessarily in folders. You don't need that with SharePoint. So let's say we want to go ahead and not only search through content, but all metadata for the word marketing, and we just execute that search very quickly. The results show up here in the same view, right? So that is one way of search. It's a limited search within a library. However, let's say at a global enterprise level search, you want to go to the home page and search for information. So you could search not only for documents, but all the content that you have published. But let's say if you want to search in documents, and I'm going to search for, let's say, benefits, okay? Because this has, you would have a lot of employee information here. So with a search like that, it goes through the entire site collection. It searches through the entire BizPortals 365 intranet, and it brings up search results, as you can see on the right side. The good part is on the left side, you have all the refinements here. So you can very quickly get into the information based on some refinements here. Okay, so again, very easy to search, house all your information. And with Office 365, you can also set up archiving, retention policies around documents. If you want some of that functionality brought in so that you can initiate from the intranet, we can certainly help you do that. So hopefully that was a good overview of the document management strategies that you can use. Please contact us. We can schedule a much more detailed one-on-one demo, or you can just email us and we can move right into the proposal stage and get you started with an intranet solution. Thank you all. I think we reached the end of it. So if you had any questions, we'll be sure to reply to you via email. And again, you can get hold of us, go to our website, BizPortals 365, and you can schedule a one-on-one demo. Thank you.